on my Area 51 line. You're on the air. Hello.
Welcome to the Blondes and Booze Paranormal Podcast, where what you've known as reality will be shattered by the truth. Krista and Brandy will lift the veil from your eyes, revealing what has either been hidden or denied you for eons.
It helps put us on stage.
I was like, what happened? What happened? I mean, there's Krista.
I'm slacking. It's one of those days. You know what I'm saying?
It is one of those days. I am not kidding.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
my goodness.
happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome.
Happy Thursday. I'm
Finally.
waiting. Finally.
You know,
Yeah.
this has been the longest short week ever. Like, I didn't work on Monday because of the holiday, but like, I don't know. I feel like it should be like already next Monday. That's how long.
Oh, see, I have had to work all week, so it's just normal for me, I guess. Nothing's changed.
Totally understand. So
I'm like, what's a holiday? I don't know.
yeah, I hear you. But you get a vacation in September.
Well, yeah, I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to take a vacation to work.
Yep.
And if you don't know what that means, it's the Crossing Realms Conference, the 19th and 20th of September in Richmond, Missouri. It's at the Eagleton Civic Center. All information is located on Eventbrite under the Crossing Realms Conference. There's just so much to do. Hey, we have got the conference all day Saturday. We have got the meet and greet Friday night. Krista has just not stopped planning. And now we have Thursday night that is open to ticket holders. It's going to be held at the Big River Ranch. And that is just going to be like a pre-party fun social night. It's going to be another social activity.
Brandy, we've done a gazillion conferences, right?
Right.
And every one of them, there's always an after party. So we could not be a conference without an after party. But since we're doing a ghost town, we can't party then. So that's what we're doing, a pre-party.
You're right.
There
right.
We go.
I don't know. You know.
There we go.
I get to socialize. It's a socialized party. Yes.
That's it.
Yes. So, and that is for all ticket holders. So make sure you get your tickets now on Eventbrite.
Yep, absolutely. All right. I'm not going to waste any more time. We have lots of people here backstage with us. We have part of our team, Haunted Soulz Paranormal, and then we have special guest Paul. So I am going to bring everybody up.
Yeah. Check out this panel, everybody.
Yeah, we got
wait for it.
All right. There's Paul. There's Frankie. There's Maddie. There's Jay, and there's Dan. A little bit of all of us. You know what? I gotta take that picture down of me and Brandy because I think it's in the way.
It is in the way.
Looks like Paul's hanging out with
Krista and Brandy. I know, right? Sorry, Paul. Get rid of that. Okay, there you go. I got rid of it. So welcome everybody. I appreciate all of you guys tuning in tonight with us, and so happy Thursday.
I know.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, so we have an event coming up. Do you guys want to talk about MSP a little bit, and then
sure. Yeah, we were hoping this one would boost ticket sales, but but this is gonna be a fun one because we only have 5 tickets left. So
it's gonna sell out.
Yeah, and we have all 5 buildings at MSP, which Paul can talk about.
Missouri State Penitentiary for everybody out there who doesn't know.
The only Missouri State Penitentiary.
Yep.
The Wall, the Bloody 43, the 92.
47.
47. So yeah, just want to make sure everybody was. That's right.
West of the Mississippi. Yeah.
I'm just trying your knowledge, Paul. I'm just making sure it's real. Okay. Make some
it's there.
quick stuff in there just to
right. So for anybody that's interested, I dropped the link. If anybody's interested in joining
us,
us,
there are 5 tickets left.
Yep, June 7th, and then but there's another one in September. So if you can't
27th.
get to this one, September what?
27th.
27th.
Also on that website. and they're
Yeah.
also selling out pretty quick. I think we got 20 tickets to that one already. So
Oh, wow.
these sell out. I mean, we try to tell people because a lot of other teams are like, we're going to sell out, and they have like 7 people there. We actually sell out.
Yep.
So you need to get your tickets early. And we were able to do a couple more tickets this time around because last year they had a bunch of construction, so they closed down Death Row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, they had that building closed because they were tearing the building down behind it. So we weren't allowed to be in that building or occupy that building while they were tearing down, just because shady workers could be.
That would be 3 house then, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Shelby said that she's going to be there. Yay! I can't make the
Yay!
meeting, Shelby. So,
Yeah. And along with Debbie Brinkley. So very cool. Look forward to meeting you guys because
There's gonna be so many people there.
it's
yeah.
gonna be awesome. Looking forward to it. It's just a little over a week away.
And if you guys
So-
want to bring your own equipment, that'd be great. No, I'm just playing. We have plenty.
And you can even go something with any of us or all of us.
You
Totally
can
up to
check
you.
us out.
Check us out, literally.
Now, how many times have you guys
Weird,
been
creepy.
there? Brandy, how many times have you been there?
I have never been there.
So this is your first?
Ooh.
This is going to be my very first time, so I'm super excited.
Krista?
Super excited.
I'm with Brandy. I've never been there either.
Wow.
Mhm.
Jay,
Yeah.
Never.
you haven't been there
First
either?
time.
Oh my.
Wow. You got a bunch of newbie MSP people on your team.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a huge team now. We keep building and we keep growing because we want to be the force in the Midwest
We
and
do.
help
We-
other teams grow too.
We have a great team and we have a lot of good people on our team for sure.
Yes, we had a nice guy from another team reach out to us tonight to tell us, hey man, you got like 8 tickets left, and you say you sold. That was Frankie, right?
Yeah.
From Night Shift Paranormal. So we have other teams being like, hey man, that's really awesome that you're selling out. And I didn't know he was part of a team. I was like, dude, just grab the next tickets. Oh, I can't do it at my schedule. And Dan informed me that was like, oh no, it's another paranormal team. I'm like, that's nice. So we have paranormal teams checking in on us, make sure we're selling out. That's awesome. See the para-unity, guys? The para-unity is here.
No.
Yep. There you go. There you go. So
What's up,
Jay,
fella?
I know you have done a lot of research on MSP. Can you hear me?
Well,
oh yeah.
yeah. So basically, what I was just going to kind of let you guys talk about some of the history and stuff. And then
Okay.
I was going to focus on if there was any interest in some of the, I guess, more infamous criminals, like kind of their psychological profiles, maybe what you can
Cool.
expect. Because
Okay.
if you're going to this, you have to understand that these are probably not going to be nice spirits that we're
Correct.
dealing with. So
Correct. So Paul, what
Yes.
can you tell us about the spirits that's there? I know that you've you called that home for a little bit, and what kind of things did you encounter while you were there?
There's several things that happened there. Fast Jack is a ghost, or I guess it's an apparition. Anyways, I came walking up to the long hallway, and it's got to be 300 yards. Okay, I mean it's the whole length from 5 house to what used to be 2 house. So I don't know. Anyways, I came walking up a ramp, and so I saw something cross my path. So by the time I looked down, it was a white blur, but it was all the way down, all the way and taking a left down at the end.
So how did that guy get his name?
I'm not sure.
That's the first time I'm hearing that name.
Well, that's a kind of a he's kind of known, you know.
Yeah. So I don't really we respect the fact that you did the crime, you did the time. So I don't want to get into your past or your background. But what years were you there? Were you there early or like 60s, 70s, 80s? Was it
1993, and I closed it down September 14th, 2004.
So you were there when it finally closed?
Yeah.
Wow. So was Fast Jack still around toward the end of that 2000?
I would think that some people saw him. I mean, some people didn't. Some people did, and the name wasn't really tagged onto him. But some people say, "Hey, man, I saw something go." My best one, however, though, is I'm in my cell in 4 house, and my partner Norman over on his bunk. We're lying down. We're facing our doorway. the entrance ways to our cells are like arched like this back here. Okay. And it's a sliding bars. And so we're sitting out, it's late at night, 12, 1, I don't know, but our bunks are here, our TVs are at the end of the bunks, and our doorway's right there, 8, 10 feet away. Something walks by and had white and black stripes on, 3-inch white and black stripes. I looked over at Norm and said, "Did you see that?" He said, "Yeah." And I hopped up. Now, from my cell 23 to the right, there's only five or six more cells before the building ends, right?
Yeah.
And I hopped up, and you can see between the bars, and there was absolutely nothing there.
So my question is, what building was this in?
4 house.
And that would have been
A Hall.
Okay.
So that's where the picture was taken, wasn't it?
No, the picture was taken. I sent all those pictures to you.
Yes, I can present.
Bring
them.
that picture up and let him
Okay.
see if that's the same uniform he saw.
Yeah. So were you wearing? So usually Jeff City is usually striped. I mean, to this day, were you wearing a different color?
Jeff City's grays.
Great.
Just gray. Okay. And at one point they were striped.
Well, we weren't ever, but
Okay.
they were striped in the 30s and in the 40s. They were striped.
Okay. So
I have a picture. It's one of the most greatest things that was captured. But it was in general population.
I think
And
I've seen
above-
this picture before.
Yeah, above death row, that
Okay.
general population, in that building there.
That was 3 house. Yeah.
That 3 house. Okay. So Frankie's bringing this picture up. A friend of mine was leaving. He was going to do an event there in that section. He was walking out. He turned around, took a picture, and left.
Okay.
And why you say the stripe thing, it's so like as soon as you said the stripes, I was like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I have a picture, an actual photo of a man standing on the ledge wearing prison, that 3-inch stripe, what you said.
Yeah. Did he have a bucket cap on? Just
Yeah.
like a pot?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I have the picture. I'll let you see the picture and you tell me. That is crazy.
I'm gonna find it soon.
I sent it to you on the WhatsApp.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. That helps.
Oh,
But there's other things that happen there. But yeah, that's interesting. That's
hold on.
several people had seen this individual or individuals. Who knows? But one of the guys who's been there a long time. He was down there years, 40 years. I don't know. Jose, and he lived across the walk from me, and he said, "Yeah, he saw it all the time. They saw. You see, back then, you didn't go in anybody's cell. Period. You wake up, or you're there, and somebody's in your cell. It's locks and socks. Okay, you're gonna put your lock in your sock and start swinging. And his cellie, Sarge, woke up and there's somebody in the cell late at night. Doors locked. You start swinging away, and there was nothing there. And
Wow.
so it's.
I'm gonna send them to you here now, Frankie. I just downloaded them.
So did a lot of people like in there like experience these apparitions and things like that, or was it just like a certain few of you, or was it talked about, or?
There's some people will not. You could tell them that the sky's blue, and they wouldn't look at it that way.
Sure.
Of course.
But yeah, there's quite a few people Johnny Irons is a friend of mine, and he if you know what negative airflow is in the hospice, in the hospital, negative airflow is that the air is sucked in where nothing can get out, no germs or anything get out of the room.
Okay.
Even if it's got a gap underneath the door, it's negative airflow. Well, negative airflow, that means the doors are locked. Well, Johnny was doing his hospice thing sometime in the morning, and you walk around. Not everybody's in negative airflow, so there's a couple other people hanging around. And he was Johnny was standing down there, and he looked down the hallway, and he saw somebody go into one of the rooms. And he went down there. He said, "No, they're all locked," and they were all locked. He saw an apparition go into one of the rooms. So,
Oh wow.
and the same hallway was sometimes when people die, they see things, and this one here is kind of unusual, to say the least. I worked hospice also, and it had a.
What building was hospice in?
It was in the hospital, second or third floor.
That building's now tore down, I believe.
Oh, that's a shame because the basement had the mortuary, the basement had the crematory.
Yeah. There's literally, Paul, when you go in, you got the main building,
Okay.
where they have the cage up there, and they can open the doors and stuff. They had the women's prison and your
Right.
gymnasium.
Okay.
That building's still there, and I guess that's where the visiting was. Right, it's also down the hallway of the visitation. Then when you walk out into that yard,
All right.
you have Death Row D3 and Gen Pop building, which is building 3.
Right.
You have the A Hall building, which
Right.
is the one
Right.
with dungeon. Yeah, with the
Right.
dungeon and
Right.
solitaire.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And then basically that's it. Then you have the gas chamber.
Yeah.
Right.
Other than that, all the other buildings have pretty much been all torn down.
Well, that's kind of a shame because that hospital was kind of a hot
Yeah, that would have
spot.
been really cool. That hospital would have been amazing to
Oh.
investigate.
Especially with the crematorium and stuff
Well,
in
they
there.
had a morgue. There was a lot of things
Morgue?
that happened in the morgue. A lot of things that happened in the crematory, and
Krista, you can
guys,
add that
things being
picture to
thrown.
the stage.
Okay, let me go down to it. There you go.
So
Can you
as
guys
can
see that?
Yep, that's it.
Oh my god, dude.
Yep, that's it.
That is so cool. Wait a minute. You know how long that we've always people are like, oh, that's not a real picture, but it's so cool now to know that someone that
No, that's
Someone
exactly what it is. As a matter of fact, that's just because the stripes go here like this, and on the head it went up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a real picture. I mean, like, Dan was next.
Well,
to
that's
guy
a real
that-
picture. That's exactly what. Yeah.
So I
Wow.
mean,
wow.
it would literally be impossible to get somebody to get an outfit and then have them hang up. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Yeah.
like
And that era, and why would they just pick the 30s or the 40s, whenever that era was? And
Right.
So
It's
you've
almost-
seen you
it's-
guys have seen this image also in A Hall.
I have.
Okay,
Norman
so this
has.
guy roams
Jose has.
around. That's
Yeah, he-
really cool.
He's still there.
Yeah, I mean that. Would you say his name? That's not the guy that had the name, right?
No, that's not Fast Jack. No.
Okay.
So this here,
As a matter of fact, he's African American. As far as I can,
He looks like that in the picture too. I mean, you can tell he's
so I'm just saying.
so Fast Jack is African American.
No.
this guy right here.
This guy here.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
This is definitely, you can tell it's not a living person. I mean, it's a little bit even transparent too.
Yeah, you can see.
That's not photoshopped.
No.
That's just too clear.
Yeah, no, that's a great
I just
picture.
got like really goosebumps because like he's actually seen that ghost that we have a picture of. It's pretty.
Without,
And he said it. Wait a minute. And
without any collaboration.
I've never.
he described it before I even we even showed him that picture.
As you can see, there's nothing up my
My
sleeve. What? Doesn't make any sense.
That is cool. I mean, that's cool. I mean, that's
It's like those guys that do the magic tricks, but they're really terrible. And now they're like a viral sensation. Like, amazing.
It's like, I got goosebumps and I don't get goosebumps.
there you go, man. I got a picture of what you saw, man. That was pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that.
that's some good validation there. I got to tell you.
Well, I think you better sell another 100 tickets because I mean, I'm going to buy some.
Yeah.
Well,
June 27th or September 27th. They're
Yeah,
on
you're
sale.
welcome to come out, man. And
No,
go someplace.
If you can come out, Paul, I would love to have you as a
You'll
guest.
be our guest.
You'll be our guest.
I
You don't
want-
have to pay for
I
a
want to
ticket.
make it. I want to make it this one here in a couple of days too.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can make it on out, we'd be glad for you to walk around. Because I mean, to be honest, you're a trigger object because you
that's
spent
fine.
your energy's been there before.
Familiarity, yes, sir.
Right. I mean that.
Yeah, I'm going to go sell in cell 23. Sit down and say hi to anybody's in there. That's
Yeah.
my old cell. So I'm going.
So
Now-
23. Okay, so was that on the second floor then?
No, that's on the flag.
Okay.
What is flag?
The flag is okay. You got 4 rows of cells, 4 stories high. You got four stories high on both sides, right?
Yes.
And you go up there and you look down, the building, it's the shape of a flag.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
the flag is the first floor.
Okay.
Ah.
Real quick, everybody that's in chat. Oh, thank you, T-Bone. You're the best.
thank you,
Also,
T-Bone.
Real
Technically,
quick,
we're splitting
we're
that.
gonna
Thank you,
pause
T-Bone.
1 second because
Yeah, technically we are splitting that blonde. So yeah, thank you, T-Bone. No, I'm just joking.
I'll put on a chicken.
hey, now this money, seriously, Brandy can attest. All of our money that we're getting now is going to our conference. So
You're all good.
Oh my
Very good.
gosh,
We're
it
just teasing.
is. We're getting so close to that conference. We need every penny. So, rest assured, everybody, everything we got's going to it. So we hope you come and have a good time with us spending the money because we're going to spend it all.
It'll be
Yep.
fun.
It'll be
And
fun.
T-Bone, honestly, he is the best. And I will say he commented before you guys had put on. He said, hello, Brandy and Krista sent Haunted Souls as a possible Spaced Out Radio guest. And Dave Scott is who does Spaced Out Radio. Brandy and I have been on. It's a great show. And so
Neurogum's making me spaced out. So, I mean,
so when T-Bone says he's going to get something done, he gets it done. He's
That's
the best.
right.
do it.
Let's do it,
Yeah.
T-Bone.
And Jay too. Jay's in chat. Jay started Cryptique. So everybody that's in chat, let me see. Like it's showing 54 in chat. However, it is showing real time. We have 210 people actually watching.
Hey,
So
if you're a
all
Haunted Souls
210
fan,
people would go and like and subscribe to the Haunted Souls and Cryptique podcast, which I will continue to drop them in chat, and they are in the description of the show. So if you
Yes.
guys
And if you
show
want
them
my
some love,
skincare regimen,
we appreciate it because these guys are Brandy and I's extended family. We do a lot of ghost stuff and paranormal stuff with them. We're part of their team. So
Well, you also have to add in, if you haven't subscribed to Blondes and Booze, please do.
yeah.
that too.
You're
Subscribe
watching
to
and
Blondes
you
and
They
Booze.
have to be. They have to be in the chat though to
right.
comment. They have to-
We're trying to catch them.
Yeah, well, you know, some people out there just watching, hey, just
Come to
subscribe.
Haunted Souls and subscribe. We're trying to catch Blondes and Blues. They're
Brandy-
way ahead of us.
Randy, why aren't you wearing your shirt? Oh,
No, Brandy don't have one.
Oh, that's why.
It was
have
underneath all the auto.
it
parts.
was in the truck, by the way.
Yeah.
You know, it's like trying to get my shirt. I mean, I might as well just make my own.
Wow.
It'll come in a white shirt with marker. You
Everybody
know, the
will
best
have
that I can draw.
everybody will
But
have a T-shirt Saturday.
What is
Yeah.
that? The putty paint or whatever that you draw
yeah,
on
but
it?
I'll just draw on it and stuff. You
How
know,
about the
There you
puffy
go.
paint?
You all have
The
your
puffy
shirts on
paint?
Saturday.
You will. I'm actually.
Brandy, I
getting
think
those
you
out.
should use the puffy paint. You know what I'm talking
Yes.
about? You know what I'm talking about,
I
Maddie?
think so
Yep.
too.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
here's a funny thing. I have vinyl that
Mhm.
actually does the puff.
Oh wow.
It's really cool. And when you do it, like when you do your heat press, you put it down, and then when you bring it up, you have to take it off when it's hot, and you just see it rise. It's really
That's
cool.
Oh my goodness.
Very
We're
cool.
gonna all have puffy shirts now.
Yep.
I've got weird vinyl. I've got like a bunch of different colors and stuff, but I don't know. We're kind of sticking to black and white for team badges and stuff like that. We'll get one for Paul.
I don't need no more puff.
It's all good.
Real quick too, we met them. They came to our last event at Emmaus, Spooky Dookie Paranormal.
Yes,
So,
Stephen
um,
Drew.
Okie dokie.
Show them some love as well. They were some nice people.
I was
Right.
trying to say if you're fans of Haunted Souls, reach out. I don't know who's all our normal listeners that are on
Well,
here.
Stephen Drew's from Spooky Dookie. They're coming this weekend. They're coming June.
Yeah, he said that. He said
Yeah.
that. He was
Yeah,
coming.
so they're coming June 7th. So
Mhm.
we might have them.
Debbie Brinkley, I don't know. Yeah, you can buy a shirt on the 7th.
Yeah, and absolutely. We look forward to meeting all of you guys who are going to be there. We
I'm
haven't-
talking about people that are working for the company. They had hoodies, so they
Oh.
all get shirts. that
I didn't
help
get a
out
hoodie
all the
or a
other
shirt, so
I
Yeah,
got both,
we have-
Brandy.
We have the badge.
Ooh.
Randy, you got both coming, I guess, to you, don't you?
I do. You know,
She's
I'm
always
gonna
cold.
feel like I have a whole new wardrobe by the time I get some.
Well, her and Chris are always cold. So it's like, here you go. Here's your hoodie in 98-degree weather.
Well, yeah, you're gonna change logos before I get a new one.
Yeah, I do have Jeremiah's size small. You want to show him his shirt that I got him?
It's like small.
6 at
Yeah,
waist.
here's your shirt, Jeremiah.
There you go.
I'll squeeze into it.
Just medium on them.
We're gonna have Jeremy actually wear this shirt.
Yeah. Oh God.
Good luck.
Oh,
Jesus.
His belly button's gonna be hanging out.
everything's a bit
Everything's gonna be hanging
He's
out.
gonna be Pooh Baron.
Yeah.
Good on Jeremy though. Jeremy's lost 41 pounds.
That's
He's doing
fantastic.
awesome.
Nice job.
I've lost
Nice.
10.
Cool. And I'm down 18.
You're down 18. So we're just losing the things that we need to lose and gaining the things we're gaining, like ticket sales.
Show
There's
off.
5 tickets left. If you want to come to June 7th, tickets are available.
I'm with Paul there. I'm fluffy.
I gotta lose weight. And I gotta keep my. And if you guys need my skin regimen, let me know. Email me directly.
Your skin regimen.
Dude, my wife bought me all this stuff, these gels and oils, and I'm like, what is all this stuff?
I'm done.
She's like, you're not supposed to put that all on at the same time. And I'm like, oh.
Can we just stir it in a bucket and just put it all at the same time?
I was like, I'm not an animal.
I put the lotion on the skin.
Yeah, I put the lotion in the basket for real that time.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you, Aaron.
Yay.
Earns.
You guys know Aaron.
I do. Yes.
Yeah.
Love it.
Museum Aaron. Yeah.
Yes.
Can't wait for September. Thank you very much, girl.
Yeah, it's going
So,
to be fun.
okay, back to MSP. I just wanted to give everybody some
No, that was a
plugs
good
and have
commercial break.
everybody subscribe to you, all you guys.
Next
So,
commercial break, I had to have a shout out to one of our creators.
Sure. So Paul, like I said prior to, I don't really want to get into a lot of the nitty gritty, but I do have some interesting culture questions about, like, you guys had your own type of language when you said the flag, when you said certain things. Now, does that come directly from basically being around people and kind of creating these types of words, or is that comes from the guards? Or
Well, it's really strange. It's just slang, you know.
Okay.
You just pick it up. Now, I made up a word called "chicken I'm afraid of." And
chicken,
that was-
I'm afraid of.
Yeah, well, it's chicken Alfredo,
Mm.
but it's the way they serve it, it's called chicken I'm afraid of. And I started back that in '95. Now, every prison you go to talk about how chicken I'm afraid of. So
That's amazing.
That's great.
that's how it works.
Ever go to prison?
I guess that's
Like,
kind of like the
I'm afraid
mystery
of-
meat.
I might do that.
The mystery
Right.
meat. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start doing that for Zoli's.
So, like,
You got chicken I'm afraid of?
Paul was like, why are the noodles moving?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not-
Just protein. Don't worry about it.
Protein.
Yeah.
That's funny. I like that, Paul.
No, it's-
Chicken,
Yeah,
I'm
so-
afraid. So the reason why I ask you that, Paul, is because ghost hunters, paranormal investigators like trigger objects, and sometimes if you speak the slang, it might create more activity.
okay.
And so coming from you know, your expert advice, having been there for close to, I think, 11 years, you said, or something.
Yeah.
That type of slang, those types of things, really help kind of stir up activity, but it also tunes ghost into, like, what is this about? Like, how does this person know this? Now, if we're dealing with somebody from 1930, you know, I always think that people from 1930 talk like Broad Atlantic, like, hey, sweetie, watch out there, huh? Like that. Like I said, that's why when I ghost hunt, it's very strange, because, like, I get into the 1930s. I'm like, it's the bee's knees, kid. Yeah. Like, I'll get you, copper, like that. And all of a sudden, it just stirs up activity. It's like, okay, we're on the right. No, don't ghost hunt. This is why you don't ghost hunt with Frankie.
Yeah, that's why you don't ghost that. Frankie just hangs out in the lobby.
Did you ghost hunt with Frankie? Yes, for 6 hours. Did you get anything? Not a damn thing. Nothing.
He talked
Nothing.
really weird.
Not the ghost left.
I think I heard somebody laugh, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know,
So that's I mean, like you said, I was on the flag, so I didn't really I didn't know. That's something I didn't.
You'll hear things like, I'll say J Trip, which is J Triple C, Jefferson City Correctional Center, but you just say J Trip because that's what Jefferson City Correctional Center was. There's spirits there too.
So, Paul, if you don't come, you need to text me the lingo of some different words that we can use as a trigger. If you come, that'd be great. But if you don't come,
I'll try to think of one.
So he said cell 23. So there is a cell 23 on the first
flag,
floor.
on the flag, right next to the shower.
Next to the all right.
The shower goes down.
Paul, don't come. We're going to 23.
We're going to 23 because we know
The
that's
pulse.
something.
Yeah.
Yep, me and you are going to sit in there.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm gonna be like,
now,
"Get away from me, see?" Like,
he'll be radioing from the lobby. How you doing, Dan?
Yeah, he'll be radio on the walkie-talkie.
my brother's on 4A. Like,
See, a lot of things happen there too. That you know, if you're in a room by yourself and you hear noise and nobody's there, but if you're in your normal day activities and things go on, you don't notice that noise happen because it's like more ambient than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of people who heard a lot of different things and couldn't come up with the answers.
So funny you say that, because remember last time we were there, the one guard showed us that weird video, and he said he was sitting in that barber chair because they have a barber chair sitting out there, out there in the hallway of A Hall, out in the big auditorium area. So he was sitting in that barber chair, and I can't remember what the video was, but it was really weird of somebody walking by.
You literally
He
see
did
it.
the light.
He did the
He lit the
light.
light.
Oh yeah, it was a flashlight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like someone like a guard was looking at a flashlight through the cells. You could see the light, and it was right there, right about where you say by the shower on 23.
Yeah.
It was further down, so that is an active place, and that's. I mean, it does lead to the dungeons. So, I mean,
well, I'm not quite sure what's underneath there because it's sealed off underneath 23 and that side. On the other side is where the little torture chambers were. They're only 4 foot tall. You can't stand up in them. They got bars.
yeah, the dungeon where Firebug was.
Yeah, 3 feet. Well, yeah. It's nothing but inhumane. But that's I felt we talked about this last time. I'm not looking for these things, but when I was down in there, real sense of despair, man, real sense of hard, just I don't know. Despair.
So like I said, I've never been there before, and thank you, Amy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amy.
I've
Wait,
never.
I got to stop you there, Christopher, a second. But this is for Frankie. It says conference fund. It'll be the cat's pajamas. See? Now say it.
It's the cat's pajamas. See?
There you go.
That will be $5 for a voiceover.
That's right. I just charge you $50. Every time you run this,
Send that
it's
to
$50.
Haunted Souls.
Wait, so 23 is all the way at the end, like towards the end of that.
Towards the
right?
showers.
Okay. So,
Then
do you
go down.
remember when I went to go A-Hall and I was like, oh, I'm going to go take pictures, and I was really brave and I thought I could take pictures by myself and go there by myself.
Didn't work
And
out.
I walk in and I see something dart from the right to the left automatically. And I was like, you know what? I'm good. I'm going to go back.
So Castle Rock has a good question. If you want to pull that one up, Krista.
Yep, I have a star on them.
Yeah. So Alex in Caggiano, I think that's Caggiano. That's the one, that girl, his wife or girlfriend, got that nice Italian name. But that is a good question. The reason why we get more activity around water is because water is a materializing form. So basically, it's an element that ghosts tend to use as an energy source to materialize. So a lot of times, like that's why Mineral Springs was so haunted by the pool area.
Downstairs.
Yeah.
Yes.
They also had limestone, which is basically a conduit for spirits, right? Because it's porous and it has the water source.
That's all it's made out of.
That's all
Right.
prison's made out too.
Exactly. So it's
Yeah.
housing these things. I've only been to
Thank you, T-Bone.
Thank you, T-Bone. We appreciate you.
Come on over, T-Bone. We can get you. Come on over.
Come on over.
Yeah, well, we had people who were, and I mentioned this last time, and I don't mean it anything other than being shoved in the shower, touched in the shower, by themselves, So it's kind of, I not me personally, but it's happened.
So would you, just out of curiosity, do you think more bad stuff happens, like being jumped in the shower and stuff like that, because less privacy? I mean, are the guards standing over you
I
watching you?
understand what you're saying, and the era that I was in there, people who would not fight. If somebody fought you, they'd leave you alone. Okay, okay. But if you didn't fight, then it was on. So people who couldn't defend themselves sometimes had friends who would, but you can't protect them all the time. So,
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, was like just a lot of bad stuff would happen.
some of those things,
It would have bad energy.
Does happen.
They would hope. Yeah.
it does happen.
So that could be why too,
Well,
along with the water.
there's a death or two I'm sure in the showers over the years. There's no doubt. Downstairs in the poorhouse. There's no question that there's deaths all over that prison while I was there. Pete Selly's killing Sellies, things like that. So I mean, up to the 2-3 weeks before we left prison, 3 guys decided that they were going to hide out because we knew what date we were leaving. And so they took a bunch of food and they went down an elevator shaft to pull a piece of metal out and ran into. Well, one of the guys didn't want to, after doing all that, got scared and didn't want to do it. Well, the other 2 killed him, and they found his body in the hall, and it took them, 2 weeks to find these 2 hiding in that elevator shaft. But they were going to hide out there until the prison emptied and then walk out.
Yes.
Not a bad plan. There's murders there all the time.
Not a bad plan.
Oh, bad plan.
I mean, you would
took
think
2 weeks to find them.
Yeah, it took 2 weeks to find. That's pretty,
pretty amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Spooky Dookie, I would say yes. They still got my riot shield baton cuffs from the correction days. Can I bring those as trigger objects? Yeah, I would say so. Bram.
I would ask the prison.
Yeah, let me ask Sheila about that.
Yeah.
Really? For trigger objects?
Well, I mean, I understand certain trigger objects, but a shield.
Yeah.
Not you know, I've never saw Shield, but I mean, except for the Goon Squad, and the Goon Squad is when they just want to come in numbers, and so there's another trigger word, you know. So you know, the Goon Squad, but they used them. Don't get me wrong, they had them.
I was waiting for him to say something. The Goon Squad.
Here come them goons. The most active ever is when I'm there.
So
Not true.
So Paul, I've been there almost 10 times investigating. The last time that I was there, well, I used to work for GHU, which was exclusive, so we were always, you know, had the event going on there
every weekend.
Every other weekend or so.
What's his name? Mr. Wells.
What's that?
Tommy Wells. Did you know Tommy Wells? He was like one of the guys who would walk people around.
Does he have a cane?
He's an old gentleman. He used to be a guard.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's Tommy. I think he walks with a cane now because he hurt his leg or something. But I think that's him.
Yeah, his back. I heard something about that.
Yeah. Tommy's a pretty good guy.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
But so A Hall was open, was always closed for a long time because the tornado came through and ripped the roof off. So for the longest time, we weren't able to go in A Hall. So the last year when we had it was our first time in A Hall, and I really didn't do any investigating there myself, and everything. So I'm really intrigued, like really wanting to investigate A Hall because, I mean, it sounds like it's more active than some of the other places.
Well, you got Death Row, you got the Screamers in Death Row. Okay,
now, I've seen a creepy crawler climb up the wall in Death Row, so I've seen the shadow climb up the wall. So
okay, back in the 90s, the guards were tough. They were nail biting, tough, old school, whatever you want to call it. Okay, but they were afraid to go down to Death Row and the Hold because of several reasons. One was the Screamer. And the Screamer started, and according to the thing, when the husband and wife were killed in the gas chamber, and then the Screaming started shortly thereafter.
Oh, Bonnie and Carl.
Yeah, about the kid.
Yeah, the kidnappers. Yeah.
Well,
yeah, because she was the only female ever on death row there.
Yeah, they were killed side by side in the death house.
That's why. I mean, I was going to say, Jeremy, that's why there's 2 seats in the gas chamber.
Yes, sir.
Now, because they both were executed at the same time. And word has it, I don't know, but I don't know if someone says it, but I've been told that she actually looked over and told him to buckle up, Buttercup, or because he was crying or something. And she was like, you know,
she might have. I mean,
yeah, I mean, she was a tough. If you ever seen a picture of her,
yeah.
You'll see
them. They're all on the wall.
Yeah, she was a handsome lady.
They're all on the wall. When you go into the death house, they got all the pictures of who they.
Yeah, it's Bonnie and Carl. They kidnapped the car dealership guy?
Yeah, some 7-year-old kid, I think.
Yeah, and they had killed the kid before they got the ransom. That's done
the Greenleaf's case.
Yeah, the Greenleaf's case. They buried the property on Carl's property. They buried it in the backyard.
Wow.
Oh,
actually, a cop went away for that too.
And then
did you know that?
And then they got the ransom, and the boy was already passed away.
Yeah, they killed the boy immediately, and then what happened was that money traveled down to St. Louis because it came out of Chicago. He was a Cadillac dealership.
Yeah, it was a Cadillac dealership.
Okay, so that's the car, the Cadillac so Haunted Garage, right? I'm Shift Films in the thread, by the way. So watch what you say to me. Just playing.
It's all good.
Yo, get the bag. What? No, I'm just So the Cadillac that we ended up purchasing was the same dealership as Greenleaf's. It had since changed hands, but that haunted Cadillac that I have is actually from that dealership. It used to be the Greenleaf's Cadillac dealership because he never really made a comeback after his son was killed. He just never. And this is, around the same time as Lindbergh. So this is not maybe couple years after or a little before. But this culmination is happening at the same time that all these kids are being kidnapped that have money and ransom money, and she killed him and left a flower or something. He's like, she even said something to the effect of that he was a crybaby. So that story, what happens with that money is that money travels, right? So they never get the ransom money because they get caught. But the money was actually left in this stagecoach type of cab, which they would have called a black and white in the day. And so the police chief actually takes the case with the money in it and puts it in his car, and then has an officer drive it up to the station. Well, when the officer does that, he gets arrested for having it, and he serves 20 years. And he dies in prison. He never gets out. And it's this terrible case that happens after this. And a lot of people don't know what happened to that money, but that money eventually just evaporated. It was just gone. No one ever found it. No one ever got it back to them. And it's a St. Louis thing too. So it's a St. Louis mystery too. And we actually we're doing a documentary, and we interviewed a cop, Timothy C. Richards, who knows all about that case.
Cool.
He's a little bit of a historian. So that's kind of like, that all is impartial of that one, the first female to be executed in a prison.
Right.
So that's got that history to it.
There's another approach that you could use here too. That if your team separates and you just want to try a trigger, talk to the spirits of the innocent men, because there's a high percentage of innocent people go to Missouri. There's a high percentage of innocent people go to prison. Yeah. High percentage. I mean, I'm saying not 1 out of 100. I'm saying 4 or 5 out of 100. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. I mean, it's high.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the possibility there would be of a spirit who wants to, hey man,
especially like I would say,
going to prison for life and dying and they're innocent. That's just
that's awful.
Paul is like hitting on things that I've experienced at this place. Like Maddie's first time doing the human pendulum, in death row area out there in the hallway. You'll see when you go in to show you. She experienced a woman that was charged for arson.
Her father committed the crime.
And their father committed the crime, and she was charged for it, and she was there because she was innocent. She didn't do the crime.
That's insane.
Wow.
And Maddie Maddie started crying when she was doing it because she felt her emotion. Like this lady was, and it's Paul, man, Mural, like you're hitting a lot of things, man, that we've experienced there. That's kind of really.
Have you been down to the death house?
The gas chamber, yes.
Bill was I worked industrial maintenance, and Bill was a civilian supervisor. And, you go someplace, different places. Well, the roof was leaking in the gas chamber. So we were going over there. And if you know, the gas chamber has this big, tall, 40-foot tall plastic pipe sticking out of the ceiling. So when they vented the gas, the gas would be above the towers, the guard towers, and vent out. Because originally it wasn't, and almost killed the guard. So they had extended. Oh, that's a true story. But Bill and I were in there, and I was inside the actual chamber where the two chairs are, and you're sitting down at two chairs, and there's a round mirror right here. If you sit in that chair, what you notice is your face. When you're dying, you look up there, and because it's concave and it's so close, the biggest thing in that mirror is your face. So it's kind of a morbid thing.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's so the people that hid away, and one was killed by the other two guards inside at the time you were there. Did you know the one that was dead that died? Did you ever come across them, or were they from a different section?
What's that?
The story you told about the people that tried to hide away in 2014.
They vanished. I don't know whatever happened to those guys.
Oh wow.
So I don't have a clue.
So that the mass exodus of you guys, where did you guys end up going if you were still serving time?
Across the street.
Right across the street? Oh.
Well, it's like a mile down the road.
No, it's about 12, something like that.
That's 12 miles. Yeah, they built a brand new state of the art prison. Yeah, it's on the right side. I used to work for the railroad.
They got to empty the holes out by sending them to, I don't know, Potosi.
I used to work for the railroad, Paul, and we used to come in because the railroad station's right there, on the freight trains. Right. And you would see the new prison as you were coming into town. You would see the new prison on the right
by Algoa. It's in the bowl.
Yeah. He's a railroad man. Anyway,
so we're in the death house though, and we're trying to repair the ceiling, the leak, and it's just Bill and I, And all of a sudden, we heard this growl, scream. "Arr!" Man, I'm telling you, there was nobody in that building but me and Bill.
There's a growl down there.
Yeah, nobody in that building but me and Bill. And like I said, Bill was 300 some pounds at one time, at that time, and I was probably 180. And Bill beat me out of there. Okay. I mean, he booked. So, there's a. I think there's another thing that I talked with Krista about it before, and this is straight up from the guard's mouth. Okay. Out of all those years, even Civil War era, and all those years where they had 20 deep inside cells that were. All you had was a pot, no drinking water, no food, 20 people per cell. Just out of all those years, the Department of Corrections claims that there was only 7 bodies that were moved when they had to move the graveyard to the pauper's grave. They say there was only 7 unclaimed bodies through all that time. Well, you and I all know that's
BS.
Right. Okay, you had 7 people a day during the Civil War or after they're shortly in 1920 dying, okay, and being unclaimed. So when we moved to J Trip, in not more than a month or so after, the guards who were at MSP are now the guards at J Trip. Okay. And they come in, and you can become friends with some. They're good people, man. So you can become friends with some of these guys, and they come in and say, "Ben, don't tell anybody." But they're putting there's a baseball field down at MSP. All right. Well, when they started rebuilding the thing, okay, they came in with bulldozers and flattened it out to make it into the parking lot that's there right now. When they were making that to the parking lot, all these bones started popping up. Human bones started popping up. And instead of doing the right thing, didn't take more than a week to just blacktop it. They just sealed it, blacktop.
Wow.
So basically, they just covered them all up. That was it. Left them there.
Cover up, yeah. A real cover up, yeah. No doubt.
I like to know what's going to happen, Paul, because I just talked to Sheila, and she runs that whole plane for the state, and they have now tore all the walls down around that parking lot.
Okay. Yeah.
So the parking lot's open because they're going to be building something there. So they're thinking about moving the gas chamber up on that field up there next to like A Hall there. They have that grassy area.
Okay.
So just for it to be a part of, history and stuff like that, because they're going to build. So what's going to happen when a developer comes in there to build something there and they tear that parking lot up?
Right.
No basements. No basements.
Yeah, there's going to be shit tons of bones and bodies.
It's going to be
this is what the guards told us, and it wasn't one guard, it wasn't 2 guards, it wasn't a joke. It was all serious. It was all real. Right before we left on the tag plant, which was down in the lower yard, the sewer line had broke and from the drain water, and so I had to literally dig that up. And just because it's going to be a temporary fix for a couple of years, we took 55-gallon drums and buried them. And when we're digging them up, they weren't chicken bones, and they weren't. Okay, I mean, they weren't cow bones. I don't know what they were, but they were there. So I didn't find a skull or anything.
That was that chicken I'm afraid of.
Not chicken I'm afraid of. Or was chicken I'm afraid of.
Yeah, they're not going to have to dig too.
That's why we don't eat the Alfredo, guys.
It sounds like they don't have to dig too far to find something.
No.
Well, that's the, and I'm not making that up. That's
no. I mean, because even Sheila, even the workers there say that too.
Okay.
So the people that are still there, I think that they on their tours and stuff, I still think they say that there's bodies still underneath that parking lot.
You said that somebody tore down 2 house. That was at the very far end, in between the gym and 3 house.
Yes.
Okay. Now, right between 2 and 3 house, there was a concrete pad that was, and had, I guess it was 20 feet by 15 feet, 20 feet, something like that.
Yeah.
What happened was back in the early 90s, they went up there and they were going to do something, and they had a bulldozer up there, and the bulldozer fell through the ground. And when they backed the bulldozer back out, it was a real life torture chamber.
Yeah, so they have those all unburied.
Right.
So you can walk behind there and see those graves that were under the ground.
Okay.
I don't know if you can still do that.
I don't know.
'cause-
Yeah, that building that was in between in that building is what they tore down was the one to the right of that.
Okay.
So
you got 3 houses, and in between the 2, there was a little building in there, but it was underground. So that was kind of like another one of those hidden.
yeah, they said that they've like dug those all out.
Okay.
And you can go back there and kind of see. I don't know. I haven't been there since they tore that building down.
Okay.
But you could go back there, and they had like 4 or 5 cells that they had unburied, they dug up and everything. You could see those were tiny.
Yeah, yeah. I wish I could have seen it. I was just hearing about it. This was.
Well, if you come next week, you might be able to see them.
Well,
they should still be there.
Well, I have a feeling that it's going to be an exciting evening.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
we have some stuff. There was some.
So real quick, let's Jay, we'll get to like the infamous people here shortly. But why don't Frankie, Maddie, and Dan, you guys talk about like what they could expect when they come? Because Haunted Souls is different than any other paranormal team. Like most other paranormal teams will take you around, let you do your own thing, and make sure you're okay. No, that's not how Haunted Souls does things. So do you want to kind of explain how they're going to break up into the groups? And like, you mentioned the human pendulum. Like that's cool stuff, that people don't get to do with other teams.
Yes, this is where we tie a rope around Dan's legs and we hang him from the 4th, and then we use him as a pendulum. And then he puts his arms out, and then wherever he's sweating, no, I'm just playing. But that's what I was thinking when you said human pendulum. Like, how are we doing this?
You're like,
I
what is
did
that?
So
I did the human pendulum.
So so what we do at Haunted Souls is that we're gonna break everybody up into 6 different groups. They're gonna be like probably 12 to 15 in a group.
Yep.
And then we're going to each group's going to go to a certain location in the prison. And then you'll learn a piece of equipment there, and kind of play with it and everything. So that way you can see how things work. You'll do 6 rotations for like 30 minutes, just to learn, give you a little briefing on stuff. We'll have a break in between there. And then after that, we'll have plenty of equipment laid out that you guys can rent. And not rent, but we loan it to you. I'm sorry, I always say rent because you give out your driver's license. So make sure you bring your driver's license.
You have to have so how this is going to work for that evening, because of so you guys will get there around 7:30. We'll make a line. We'll form a line until the actual prison doors open up. In that line, there will be a media team there, which is kind of cool for you guys too. So just we'll have some cameras there just for marketing purposes, so we can basically expand on that. But we also want to interview people. Like if this is your first time there, if this is, I want to kind of do like a couple other things. So you'll stand up, you'll get in line, and then we'll come through line. There'll be 2 or 3 of us coming through line with iPads with your check-in information basically, and we'll be checking you in. So you guys are good. So you're gonna need a form of ID, so it is you that matches the tickets, because like we keep touting on our Facebook page, no scamming, nothing like that. Your name has to match your tickets. Now, some of you bought 4 tickets. Just show us the 4 people you're with. That's not a big deal. Not everybody has to be named. Once that goes in, everybody will file in. We'll take you into A Hall, I believe.
Courtyard.
I think we'll probably go with A Hall. I don't know which one.
No, because then we're doing rotations. I would just
To do the rules though.
Yeah.
Whatever. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's either Courtyard or A Hall. And then how that will separate is basically we'll go through rules and regulations. Usually how it works, the prison actually has their staff there. So they will be there. They will tell you rules and regulations. The biggest one, do not close the cell doors.
Do not.
People get locked in there all the time.
This
is a thing, people.
Yeah, they don't have keys.
And I can't get you out. I will make fun of you, and I will.
I can get them out.
Okay.
Paul, they need to have your name on record because they've got some people that have been stuck.
Paul should do the walking door there.
Yeah.
It's 3 levers, but you got to know what combination.
Cool.
That's how Alcatraz is. Alcatraz has former prisoners do the tours. They know everything about that place.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that they're going to go through a bunch of rules and regulations. One of the biggest ones is don't close the doors. Because if you get locked in there, you're going to be there all weekend. They got to bring out a special guy to saw a door. They're going to charge you all that money. It'll end up costing you $1,000. Don't touch the doors. If the doors are closed, don't open them. If the door is open, walk in. If the door is open, walk in, but don't touch the door that was open, because then you'll be closed with the ghost all night long. Because I'm leaving you there, and you get to see Fast Jack and Stripey Stripes, and the one guy's going to come down the hallway like, hey, where's the new kid? Where's the new fish? Like that. All night long, you're going to hear that voice and be haunted by it. So after we do the rules and regulations, we'll split you up into 6 teams. Those are just for rotations. You don't have to stay with those people all night, because I always get that weird person looking at me and like, do I have to be with this team the whole night? No, you don't. But we all about para-unity. So this is where you meet people that you will ghost hunt with in the future, be on future events with us. So that's communal. So the rotations are basically going to take you through the whole. This place is huge. We have to do rotations. You will get lost in a field somewhere with an alley cat and a growl. So that is basically after rotations. Then you can check out equipment, your driver's license. We take your driver's license. You taste the peak of equipment. Okay. From that point on, you go out and free roam and you find it. And the thing that we mentioned too is like, hey, if the place is overcrowded, there is going to be 2 souls in each area. If you see that people are camping and they've been there for like 3 hours, let one of the souls know and we will move them. Most people that we have in our events know this about haunted souls, that we will move them. So they typically kind of are very respectful. I have not seen an event where people get out of hand. So you will have plenty of room to investigate. You will have plenty of space to investigate. And just because they've seen sightings in certain areas of the prison doesn't mean that that's the only place that's haunted.
Right.
Make sure you're checking out different areas. There could be a ghost waiting somewhere in another hall, and just be like, man, no one ever comes to visit me.
Hence, like that picture that, Paul saw it in one area and Dan took the picture in another area.
Yeah.
So
I'm just going to hang out in Paul's whole cell and just make sure that guy shows up.
I know I want to hang out with Paul.
I want to hang out in the parking lot.
Paul's like, I've already experienced this. I don't need to do it a second time.
I mean, the parking lot,
I definitely want to go to Forehouse.
And then so that's basically how the event will run. It'll run till about 3:30. Everybody starts to bring their equipment back in. If you have a tablet Estes method, you got about an hour to use that stuff and bring it back to us so other people can check that out. We'll have a lot of REM pods, laser grids. Feel free to bring your own ghost hunting equipment. We will find out about trigger objects. Somebody had mentioned in the comments that what if we took the baton and went down the railing with the baton? The problem with that is it's provoking, and that could get us into trouble as far as like something dark and evil. I wouldn't provoke spirits, especially if they died there innocently. The last thing they want is that type of torment. Sure. So be respectful of the spirits.
And 2, it kind of interrupts everybody else's investigation. If you have like a small trigger object and you want to set it out next to you while you investigate, I don't see that being an issue. But running along the cells, that's interrupting everybody else's experience. And
we don't need Stephen Drews of Spooky Dookie walking down the corridor with a helmet.
We've
had a guy show up with cuffs before, handcuffs, and I'm like, this guy was with the other team I was with, and he was just really weird. He had 2 sets of handcuffs on him. I'm like, and they were on one on each wrist, like weird. It was hanging. I'm like, what's this guy gonna do?
Now we know.
I'm like, I thought maybe, I don't know why he thought that.
Maybe the better question is, what did he do?
Yeah, I don't know what he was trying to do. If he was going to lock himself to the cell or what.
It was a fashion statement.
I guess he had one of those like black skater pants on too.
Yeah, we will have a golf cart available for people traveling down to the gas chamber. The gas chamber will close at 1:30 a.m. and then that will be off limits. And that is because the gate is no longer there. They want to lock that area up. So if you're looking to do the gas chamber, I would do that after rotations. Try to head down there. We can take people down there and then we'll bring them up. We'll give limits on that because we have a solid, 8 to 4 a.m. is a pretty long time. Some teams go all the way to 5 a.m. We've done that in the past, but what we see is that people mostly cut out around 3. So I'm not going to stay there for one person at like 5 a.m. So it's like, dude, you have to leave.
We already packed up. We're all standing out in the hallway.
Commit a crime. That's where we're at this point.
And honestly, you said 3 a.m. people leave, but like a lot of people at these events, they leave by midnight. So if you're a true investigator and you want your best, less people, stay after midnight.
Yeah, you paid for it. Enjoy it. Stay with it. The souls are there for you. Every unit, so we'll have 2 souls. You'll see us. We have the big badges on our back. It says Haunted Souls. It's like a biker tag. It's actually a car club, but something else. But the thing with that is that they will also have a green case with them, a lot like our little titles here. They will be green. It'll say Haunted Souls on it. That has equipment in it, so you don't have to come all the way up if you want to switch something out. If it is a tablet, you will need to return the tablet in the front. We can take that for you. You can give it to a soul. We'll run it up for you. That way, if you have a good connection with something and you want to stay in that room, you don't have to. So we're kind of there to guide you. If you want to check out one of the ghost hunters, that's not a problem. There's going to be plenty of souls there you can take with you, Jeremiah. Some of us don't have the experience that Dan and Maddie have. They've done this a bunch. I've only done it once, and I don't really investigate that much because I'm really great to investigate with, but not if you're looking for ghosts. Because I'm like, are you here? All right, and here, let's move. Are you here? And you just go through every cell like that. So yeah, EVPs are good here. REM pods are good here. Oh, thank you, Poncho. How's that dog of yours? Because that's what I remember.
That's Poncho. Okay.
Yeah.
We try to organize the best we can. It's a lot of people, and we're not going to be perfect. We're going to make mistakes. So make sure that, if you are having something going on, if you're coming to this event, like just talk to one of us, please, before you make a bad review or something. Yep. We can always make it better. We can always make it right. But it's just about that. So your interaction with us, we'll pull some people out of that line out front. If they want to do an interview about the before and after, we're kind of looking for people that have never been there before to see what their taste is going to be like. So we'll get you in the beginning of the night. We'll do like a really small couple, like 2 or 3 questions. And at the end of the night, we want to see what you ended up with and what your experience was. And that way we can have that for marketing purposes, but also for our own edification, because we do a lot of team meetings, and we'll have like 2 next week. We'll have a media team meeting. We'll have a corporate, basically the whole staff meeting. And the reason why Haunted Souls does that is because we want to make sure that this event goes off without a hitch. MSP is usually our largest events. We pretty much can guarantee that Emmaus and Arcadia will reach this height by next year. Emmaus.
Why did you look at me like that? I was like,
because if you don't, Dan, you're fired.
Really? But, no, I think they will.
So that's basically it. I mean, I know it's a little long-winded, but there was a couple other things in your chat that was really cool. Somebody asked about the SLS camera.
Well, yeah, I did start some questions, but I was going to let Jay do some talking.
Go ahead, Jay.
And talk about some of the.
Are you still there, Jay?
I'm still here.
And then we will go back to your questions, because if anybody's got questions, put them in all caps for any of us up here on the panel. We'll ask.
Oh, that's right. It's Jay's turn.
Oh.
Yes.
All right. So, Frankie, you talked about not provoking, and that's really important here. So some of the people you could be dealing with would be like Robert Burdella, the butcher of KC, owned Bob's Bob Bazaar, which sold occult items. This guy kidnapped, raped, tortured, and murdered at least 6 young men and died of a heart attack October 8th, 1992, after heart medication was withheld by the guards, allegedly. So you will also you guys have to know about Stagger Lee, right?
Well, the one you just mentioned is huge. I mean, the butcher, Bordello, he went to the Kansas City Art Institute. I'm an alumni from that school, and all of his stuff is at Zach's museum.
Doesn't surprise me.
Really?
Yes.
I missed that. And he was at MSP in 92.
Mm-hmm.
Paul, were you there?
So, Paul, did you know that guy?
No, because I was there in 93.
93. Okay. I was trying to figure out. I thought he said 93 to 2004. Okay.
No, he's 93 to 2014. What he's talking about is
2004 is when they closed the walls down.
Bordello was in the 70s.
He just said 93, 92.
He might have served till then, but he was convicted in the 70s, I believe.
I don't know for sure on that, but he died in 92.
I remember hearing something about that, but I don't know all the details.
Gotcha.
A little bit more than that, though, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then Stagger Lee is just world famous blues songs, hundreds of blues songs written about this guy from St. Louis. Well, he was originally from Texas, but you guys have heard the story, Black Snake Moan, the movie. This guy, he was a kind of a known pimp and carriage driver, and Billy Lyons took his white Stetson hat and he shot him. went to prison and died of tuberculosis at MSP. Now that was in 1912, so that was a long time ago.
So the song Stagger Lee is based on that?
Absolutely.
We're gonna play that.
There's literally dozens and dozens and if you haven't heard the Samuel L. Jackson version, Stack O'Lee from Black Snake Moan, it's pretty good. But yeah, so you had Charles Ray Hatcher, that guy. I mean,
St. Joseph.
Yeah, 16 murders from 1969 to 1982, young boys. Yeah. And he hanged himself in MSP in 1984. So before you think about provoking or anything like that, just remember this isn't grandma that we're doing EVPs with. These are the type of people that could be there. Obviously, definitely innocent people there, good people there, people that made mistakes. But then there's also this element, and that's why we don't provoke.
Right.
Charles Ray Hatcher, there's still, that's included in one of my Lost Boys of Hannibal podcasts. Charles Ray Hatcher is still a figure because he was in the area because he was from St. Joseph in St. Joe in Missouri. So he's one of the suspects. He's in like number 9. He's got like a 3% chance of being involved with the boys, but he's in our list of people that were killing kids at the time. Because he would do multiples, and he was one of the most brilliant men too. This is if this spirit is there, he's very smart and tricky. He would get out of his prison sentences saying that he was mentally not equipped. They'd put him in an asylum. He'd escape the asylum. He'd commit more murders. They'd catch him again, do the same thing, rinse and repeat. So Ray Hatcher is an interesting serial killer.
So his diagnosis is supposed to be passive-aggressive personality disorder, including paraphilic and pedophilic features, and paranoid schizophrenia and sociopathy. So this is the type of guy that not only rapes and murders children, but revisits them afterwards. About as sick as you can possibly be. So just be careful with what you do.
Yeah, and he would leave the bodies in the open too. That's what was the crazy part about Charles Ray Hatcher. He would not bury them. So I didn't know he served there, Dan. Thank you, Jeremiah, for doing the research.
Yeah, part of my job. Sorry, I had to fight.
Well, you guys know Sonny Liston learned how to box there.
Yeah,
right?
he boxed. His cell is they got it all set up for him and everything. Yeah. His cell looked like when he was there.
They had a mural painted on him way back then on the walls too.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still kept the
his cell is there. They got pictures on the bars and stuff of his cell.
I love Sonny Liston.
Same with assassinated Martin Luther King.
Yes.
James Earl Ray.
Yes. They got things on his cell there too.
So James Earl Ray was there?
Yeah, he escaped on a bread truck.
Yeah.
If he would have never escaped Missouri State, he would have never executed.
Never done that.
Yep.
Unless you think the
So he escaped and then they caught him and sent him back, or what's the story?
No. He escaped, committed the assassination, and then did something else and was arrested by the Tennessee police.
Gotcha.
And he was never sent back to
Missouri
State. They kept him because of the crime he committed of the murder.
Wow.
But he was at Missouri State, escaped on a bread truck.
Yeah.
And that's how he made his way down to Tennessee.
They had a problem with that Sallyport. We'd actually sat down there. They don't check every 10th truck. I mean, you would say check underneath and on top all the way. But when I first moved there, me and Norm was sitting down there, Dusty and Mason, just looking at the trucks. They don't even check every 10th one. So, I mean, there was all sorts of patterns that people would notice.
Learn, yeah.
I was surprised that they still allowed that. You had mentioned something about trigger, something that would trigger individuals.
Yeah.
You got to understand that tobacco has been the main currency in prison for the last 1,000 years. Okay. Except for now they took tobacco out, and now it messed the whole system up for the inmates. But until 2004 at the walls, that was your main currency. Your main currency is top or bugler, or if you're halfway decent packs of cigarettes. But if you went there and offered maybe bugler, Just, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
That would
Roll
be
up a
that,
couple
because
cigarettes.
that was the main.
Mhm.
Well, me and Jeremiah do Zins, so.
So I know someone said
No, I
something
smoke
about
cigars. So
someone said something about like Zuzu or the little Debbie cakes.
they're
the
called Wham
Zooms or the
Whams.
Wham Whams, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's all modern stuff as far as 90s and stuff goes. I just know that they traded tobacco forever.
That's brilliant. That's a very good. All right. Well, I always have cigars on me, man.
Yeah, that's.
I'll be smoking in the yard. See.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jeremiah. Sorry.
Nope, that's all I got.
That's amazing research you pulled. There's a cat in the chat.
My cat is always makes the show. She always,
There's that cat.
Yeah.
Oh no, the whole night freaks me talking like that.
Play me off, Johnny.
Ladies and folks,
So-
we're gonna be doing the rules now.
So yeah, so there's only been 39 people that were executed by the gas chamber at the walls. Only 40 people have ever been executed there. The last one was by Tiny. His nickname was Tiny, and he was lethal injected.
Okay.
So the other 39 prior to that were all gas chambered except the last gentleman.
And the gurney was still there, when I left.
And there's a red phone on the wall, and not one time did that phone ever ring in any of those deaths. No. Yep,
Wow.
the governor never.
Like the first time that they used the gas chamber, the vent pipe was only like 10 feet above the building. So when they vented that room out, it floated up, and they found the guards unconscious. It almost killed them. Yeah, so that's a little history, little things,
Yeah. Thank you, Susan. We appreciate that.
So, Paul, when you were there, do they put you guys to work? Did you have a specific trade, or did they just give you a job?
I worked all the time, brother. I had full-time job. I worked hospice, take care of a lot of the guys who are in the hospital. I had a garden that some years was my own garden, but in the later years it was the hospice garden. So I mean, I'd leave the cell around 6 in the morning and did not come back till 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Wow.
So if you're facing your A-hall door,
okay,
which way were the hospital? To the left?
If I'm facing A-hole's door, it would be behind you.
So that building that was connected to the main building?
Do you have the main where they used to change all the what was that called? The main entrance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rotating. Is that still there?
Yeah, the main entrance where people would come in for like visitation and stuff.
Yeah, but there's a rotation that locks them in after they come in.
Right. Yeah,
I think they took that out. You can see the spindle though. You can.
Yeah, I
see
think they took it out. It's there, but they took it out. I believe they took it out.
Well, yeah, it would be the building. If I'm looking at A-hall and I'm looking at the A-hall doors behind you.
Yeah, that building's still there, but they will not let you in that section.
Well, then that's the hospital.
That's why.
Now it might be.
And the women's prison was above that, correct?
Well, there was a women's prison over there. Yes, I'm not sure. It wasn't when I was there, but it was at one time. Yeah.
Okay. Because then that main building there is still there. That hospital is still there. Man, I wish I could get down that basement.
Well, that would be the one of the premier spots for sure.
Yeah, they won't let you down there. There's a reason for it. I don't know.
Well, I mean the activity. There was the graphic arts was down there, and people would come in from graphic arts, and the stuff all tore up on the floor, and just stuff that people you wouldn't do when you work with somebody. I mean, doors slamming, just weird things. So.
So how did you pass the time? Were you a card player? Did you just bullshit? Did you?
I worked.
Yeah,
I worked. I did programs. If the door was ever going to open for me, it was going to be because of what I did and what God has helped me out to do. Okay, so if there was programs there that would help out in the final day where everybody else who didn't do anything sat around playing cards and watched TV and did all that, and the door opened for them, I had an opportunity, but I wouldn't. I wanted to be the one who they said, wait a minute now, door cracked open. Let's see about now. And that's what happened.
You guys have some questions too. Let me go down to them here. We
But
answered that one.
I played football, a little bit of baseball. Well, I was football for a couple of years there until it started being full contact karate.
You ever see that movie, The Longest Yard?
We're not even using
that
the
really
ball.
happens.
We're not even using the ball. We're just kicking the shit out of each other.
You get down at the bottom of the pile, you start breaking fingers and stuff.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. All right. So T-Bone says, Haunted Souls, what is your opinion on the SLS camera, aka the Stickman cam?
From a technical standpoint, I can give you the technical answer, which is not opinion. It's actually objective, not subjective. The SLL camera used in paranormal investigations is used incorrectly. The SLL camera, from a technology standpoint, cannot be at the center of your gravity. It must be above you in order to place your face at an angle. So when these people are walking around with it, you're going to catch everything because the entire gyroscope with which basically measures that from a technology standpoint. So it's measuring faces, it's measuring people, is wrong. It's inaccurate. It'll pick up everything if you do that. You can literally take that to the newest house in the world. You could take that into an abandoned field with sterile soil, and you will get everything. When you put it above you, when you actually buy an SLL camera, which came from Xbox, so right away it's Windows. So I know it doesn't work. But so if you put Windows, it told you.
Now I like Windows.
It told you. I can hear your mouse. I know. So if you put the SLL camera above the screen of the TV, it was supposed to face downward into the living room. This entire instruction manual is online, which is why the SLL camera I rule out. I don't invite it. People are welcome to bring it. They're welcome to have fun with it and look at dancing spider things. Chances of that being paranormal, very rare.
What I've found, like what Frankie says, and elaborate on that one, is when I've used it, it maps everything.
Yes.
It maps a pole as a person. It maps a chair as someone
spider.
Sitting there. Yeah, it just a table leg or an edge of a door frame. And it's just so like you don't know what is there. Like you see something and you look at with your regular eye and you're like, okay, is that a ghost or is that the door frame?
Right.
And why are they always dancing Irish dances?
Here's
like a jig. Like
here's the only thing that I have to say about the SLL camera. Here's the only thing that I have. I have a piece of video that shows a man standing against the wall. It's a smooth surface.
Right.
And we have a tripwire laying on the floor.
Okay.
And every time it moves its foot on the SLS camera, the tripwire goes off. So that's the only piece of like.
So let me get this straight. There's a blank wall. There's a tripwire. You guys are standing behind the camera.
Yes.
There's nobody over here or here.
No.
And the SLL is right at it.
Yes. That's the only. I can show you. It's
so when the EMF goes off, so does the SLL.
No, when the SLL moves its foot over the wire, like by the wire, the wire lights up.
Gotcha.
That's the only thing I have that I've ever. That it could be something.
Yeah, the SLS is just like it's
super touchy.
It's super touchy, and it's a phenomenal idea. Like from an ideation standpoint, it's pretty cool that you guys thought of that. Like, what if they saw that? So this happens a lot with Tesla too. So Tesla will be very upfront about that. Tesla has SLL cameras on them. That's how we measure people. That's how it knows to stop the car if something's in front of it. That's an SLL camera.
Well, there's been videos that people have had a Tesla through a cemetery and graveyard and seen something on their camera. Who left?
It looks like we lost Jay. I've tried to. Looks like something about. It says he lost his microphone and cam before he can be added back to the stream.
I wasn't at the bottom anymore. I was like, I'm moving up.
Moving on up. Okay, so next question. It looks like this is a question for Paul.
Cool.
Shelby asked, Paul, did you meet Tiny Mercer while you were in there?
Tiny Mercer's name is so familiar. Really familiar.
There's Jay's back.
It's a really familiar name, so I believe, yes, I have met him. Okay. But you also have stunned. I was in prison for 28 years. I ran the chapel for the last 13. So everybody knows the sound man, and I don't know anybody. So,
is she talking about Gregory Tiny Mercer? He was the last one executed in '89. Yeah. With lethal injection.
No, okay. Well, then
is that
no.
One, is that I don't know if that's who she's trying to.
Yeah.
Is that who she's asking about?
All I know is the name's familiar,
Shelby.
but like I was saying, I don't know.
So I have a question, Paul. How many, and you may not know this, I don't know, but at one time, like how many people were held there at Missouri State? How many people did it hold?
Well, it was supposed to hold. It was supposed to hold 16 or 1800. But when the city of Jefferson wanted to, it was tax time, and they considered everybody in prison a resident of Jefferson City. They packed almost 4,000 guys into there.
Wow. Okay.
They closed the industrial maintenance down. They closed there's a condemned building behind the gym. They put bunks down everywhere, and they just shoved people from every camp they could to boost the population up.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're glad to have you back,
funny
Jay.
you say that because my brother spent 2 years behind the wall in the 80s. And
You didn't know that?
you didn't know that? No. But he wasn't in a cell. He wasn't like what he just said. My brother said he spent his time on a bunk. They were in a big room. They were so overpopulated in the 80s that there was like an auditorium or something that they had that they just slept on bunks.
Yeah, that's probably that condemned building behind the gym.
Yeah, so I mean, he didn't actually stay in any of the cells or anything like that.
Yeah,
so.
that was an open bay. Yeah,
interesting. That's why I never brought him around or did anything because he won't talk. He's like, I did not. That's my, He says it's his vacation and that's it.
Oh, 2 year vacation.
That's one way to handle it,
Yeah, he don't talk about it. He don't like to bring it up. So.
Hey, there are places in Mexico that you'd wish you were at MSP.
Yeah. Well,
there's a Mexican prison down there that you wish it was MSP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jay, lost you briefly. You come back.
Brandy. So Spooky Dookie had somebody Castle Rock Phasma IR. So we carry body cam, Spooky Dookie for that one. That is IR. It's basically really good. It runs about 8 hours. We check them out. You can rent one with us or you can buy one. They're about $200 if you want one. They're just, you got to look for Cop. Bublov is the one. Bublov is the one we use. That one will give you 8. The problem with the Phasma IR is they're good, but they die really quick. You got maybe an hour and a half. You guys have them. Maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours. So the thing with body cam is you can just click the center button. It basically goes on, you keep it on, and then you don't have to worry about your hands free. So that is something you can look into. I know there's a couple of us on our team. Eric Moore carries his own when he comes out. Julie Couch has her own. Chris has his. So people have kind of like started buying them after we started promoting them because it's a great way to film your whole evening. And we rent those for $40, so you can basically take
Brandy has one too.
Yes.
They're great. Hey, Maddie, do you want to answer this question?
Yep. Next question: does Haunted Souls use the Estes method?
No, I'll take that, man. I'm just
yes, we do.
Our expert Estes lady.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Expert Estes. Oh man, that's a big name.
Mrs. Estes is now going to answer this.
Yeah. So that is one of the rotations that I know we run MSP a little bit different how we run a normal events. MSP is such a large location that we do have to have 6 rotations. But normally we do like almost like a investigating rotation and an Estes rotation, because that seems to be the one that everyone wants to learn when they're coming to these events. So that will be a rotation when you go to MSP, or any event that Haunted Souls does. We do Phasmabox and Estes method. And what we use typically for our Estes method is a Phasmabox, which is a Windows software that is downloaded on a tablet. It doesn't run on Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, or anything like that. And it's a word bank over 2,000 words. No names, numbers, cuss words, different languages. It's only in English. And it's actually funny, at MSP, we get the most different languages doing the Phasmabox.
Lots of cuss words.
Lots of, lots of language. And so we do use Estes method with our Phasma boxes, and that seems to be a really hot thing when we go to MSP or any of our events. Everyone wants to use the Estes method.
Yep. And that's one of the things, like you said, that, one of the rotations, as well as the human pendulum. So you guys will get to experience all kinds of things at night and, check out all this cool stuff. So, and you'll be there with all of us. Woohoo. What could be better?
We're a pretty fun group.
There was another cat in the chat. Just so you
Hey,
know.
can I have 1 second to promote this guy? So all of our equipment that we sell and everything is made by our 3D printer. Our death whistles. We have some new stuff that will be there on Saturday or that next week. For the ladies, we have hair clips that are skulls and bone that goes through. It's a hair that holds your hair back and stuff. So we have some really cool things. His name is Brian, and he's with CAD Ventures 3D. CAD Ventures 3D. You can go follow him on Facebook. He actually just opened up a store in Festus, so they have a storefront now. He has legitimately made a 8-foot long 3D dragon.
Yes.
Wow.
And it's 8 foot long. It's crazy. He does great work. He does all kinds of stuff. If you ever seen our flashing sign, he's the one that did that too. He does those. He makes anything. But you can go follow him on CAD Adventures, CAD Ventures 3D. Please, go check him out and everything. He does a lot of work for us. He is busy this week with us.
Well, and one of the other things that you guys have that,
we do our mystery machines. He does our ghost trap.
Yeah,
those
he won't do for you. Those are patented to us. So,
and you don't have a Boo Bear, you have a Boo Yoda.
Yes,
you have a Yoda, and we will have a Stitch.
There's a
Stitch is a big thing, so we will have a Stitch.
Stitch
there.
sold fast last time.
Yeah, so we'll have a Stitch there this time. Another Stitch. We'll be releasing our new REM pods. They're going to be in our cases.
Yes, the boxes.
They're going to be little boxes with our stickers on them.
Yep.
And everything like that. They're purple and black, so they'll just be a plain REM pod and stuff like that.
And then I am working with so it's some other fun stuff that Haunted Souls does. I've been working with a couple of software developers because that's what I do, and we've created a application that's called Paranormal Pit Stops. This will be a layer on Google Maps where if you download our special remedy, it's like 99 cents or $1. You can basically use this layer on your Google Maps, and it'll show you all the haunted locations near you. You can actually then book reservations. You can call the location, see if you can get in. And so we're working on that. It should have a launch. We should have something soft launch wise for, I would say, maybe Troy Taylor's American Hauntings Conference that we'll be at, or maybe August 2nd, or maybe we'll launch it over at Crossing Realms Conference, September 19th and 20th. We might have it available. It's just demo right now, but it'll show you basically what Paranormal Pit Stops does. Along with that, we actually are creating a new REM pod. Me and my buddy Noah have decided to look at the technology a little bit more and try to look at what it's done thus far and then add to it. So we'll have some new REM pods for some of the new stuff coming out. Really fun stuff, which is charged. You charge it up. You don't need batteries. Lights are more translucent. They're more small and compact. It'll fit in your basically your soda compartment. So it's really cool.
Cool.
So we got some fun new equipment coming out. And once again, affordable stuff. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah. So once again, there are 346 people watching, and there are how many in chat? It's showing 66 in chat. So
you're here for my accents.
That's watching. If you would hit the thumbs up and subscribe to Cryptique Podcast and Haunted Souls Paranormal. I've been dropping the links in chat, and their links are in the description. So show them both some love. I'd appreciate it.
Just found out that scented candles are now causing lung cancer.
Oh, well, I'm screwed.
That was your news. Please continue.
So Terry Mosby asked, "What's a death whistle?"
What's a God helmet?
We will trade you a death whistle for a God helmet.
Terry, are you? Yeah, I'll trade you. I will give you 10. I'll give you a season pass for your God helmet.
You know what I don't see in this thread? Haunted Souls members, and they're all getting demerits.
Yep.
We see Lauren. I did see Lauren. Lauren was
there. Okay, I didn't see.
And so was Paul.
I saw Paul there. Paul was ringing out. Terry, man.
So
the MSP.
She knows. Do you know? Does she really know what a death whistle? You want to answer the question, or what do you want to do? You just want to.
People also use the death whistle. Brandy and I have.
They were blowing them when.
Maybe if everybody that doesn't know them,
they might not know.
Well, a death whistle is an Aztec death whistle. It was used to ward off spirits and
So,
stuff
yeah.
for the dead when their loved ones would die and stuff
Evil
like
spirits, so they
Evil
would be
spirits.
dragged to hell.
that. Right. So we have a 3D printed, and it looks like a skull, and it's like a whistle, and when you blow into it, it lets this
Screeching
sound.
We will blow one in A-Hall.
So not everybody uses them just in the paranormal. Brandy and I have friends.
Thank you, Terry.
Brandy and I have friends that investigate out at the Land Between the Lakes. And Brandy knows who I'm talking about. Elijah Henderson. He uses the death whistle out there in the woods and gets a lot of activity too. So
I'm going to tell you right now, we used it at Emmaus, and that place has never been the same since.
Never been the same.
No.
Be careful with it, guys.
So speaking of Emmaus, I need to talk to y'all backstage because one of the what do you call them? The gypsies come over and talk to us about
The
the death.
temporary residents.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
The
man,
dirty
Come over and
hippies.
talk to us about the death whistle.
So make
Yeah.
sure you guys are subscribed to Haunted Soulz Paranormal YouTube channel. We have some fun shows coming up for you, including a man that survived Dogman twice. He was in the hospital last time we talked to him. And I don't know if it was because of Dogman, but we're going to go with that. We're hoping it was.
No, he just said his stitches came
From,
loose.
but what did he get the stitch
So a
from?
lot of people in our chat knows who he is, Matt.
Yes. Yeah. So he's
Yeah.
going to be on ours. We're going to have a lot of fun with Matt. He's a very super cool guy.
Mhm.
Really makes time for people to once to get the story out. So we're excited about that. Dogman is, some of you that already follow us, you know that's the one cryptid that I'm like, I think that might be real. And I say it like that too when I'm out there and it's howling at me in my face and it's like slobbering. I'm like, I think you might be real. Like that. That's what I do. And then he just. Did you guys see Wolfman? It was terrible. Anyway.
Actually,
Terrible
Brandy,
fucking gum, dude.
he no more neural gum for Frankie.
My brain.
Why would we
electric.
enhance anything else? He already's like the nah. Now we just give him something else to go even more.
It's nuts.
Mhm.
So, look
So
at
you guys were out there at Emmaus for Dogman. How did that? I mean,
Yes. How did that go?
So I have to tell you, for those that's in chat, keep an eye on Sasquatch Theory. You will see some familiar faces like me and Brandy, and actually Dan and Maddie and Jay and Frankie. Everybody that's sitting up here. It was interesting, and Jay even said like he's pretty sure that the howl that he actually heard, broad daylight, was Dogman.
That's cool.
And
Could
then
I-
he also validated that with the Ozark Hairy Man. He was also there, and I let him listen to the one we had captured the first time, and then he said that no question with him that was a Dogman.
Mhm. And then we also found out that Maddie won't go investigating with me no more.
no. Are you kidding me? She's talking about her whistle man. She's like, I haven't heard him yet. I'm like, okay.
Oh, he's
And
not
we went over to the asylum or the college building, and we're walking through, and all of a sudden here, I was like, oh heck! I was like, Brandy, I'm not coming along with you anymore. I was like, there's your whistle man. Go get him.
I think he's there. I think he stayed there though, Brandy. I think he's there now. He just- I like this place,
He's
Brandy.
definitely back there because Maddie and I, when we were dealing with the door that wouldn't open, when we were dealing with that door, and she was taking a picture of it to show Dan what it looked like. Well, she heard the whistle man, and I was just like, I was smiling. I was super excited. I'm like, he's back. He's back.
He's not at my house.
He's not at my house anymore.
Well, the
And I haven't
whistle-
heard him since.
Yeah,
So,
Brandy taught us. She says the how we heard with Brandy and Krista at the first pro night, it wasn't natural.
no.
no.
Yeah.
Paul, what were you gonna say, man?
Well, there's one thing that I was thinking about, and I hate to go back to it, but in those housing units, there's always a lot of life, always a lot of noise. There's 300 cells and people are talking again. And so I recorded one time. I don't have it anymore, but just a normal half an hour. What the place sounded like. If you can somehow get a crowd noise thing like that and play it again, because the place, that sound has not been in that building now for 20 years. That's a very familiar, a light, but it would have to be sounding like something cathedral,
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, that
But
makes
have-
sense.
that might be another thing that could, play it for 5 minutes, shut it off, and hear what's. I mean, I don't know, but I was just thinking about that might be another attraction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's try that. We're always up for anything, trying anything. to get things, you know, the energy stirring up in there.
I'm sure you're going to get some of these cameras.
Well, and I got to tell you another thing about Emmaus. And Brandy, do you want to talk about when the Ozark Hairy Man was in the asylum and then he left, he was done, what you guys saw?
Oh, okay. So yeah, we were sitting out on, you know, I think it's like the 3rd level, you know, where you can take the metal walkway out to the side of the hill there, and there's a picnic table, and that's where Miguel had set up camps and stuff. So we were sitting there. Well, we were looking around. We were looking in the woods. We were looking up in the sky, and the next thing you know, out the back side of the asylum there, we saw what looked like somebody with a dim flashlight, like a smaller flashlight, up on that 4th floor, shining lights.
So
Like,
Jay, did you see this too? Were you there at that time?
I was not there to see that, but I mean, that place was just lit all night.
Yeah, Jay spent the
but
weekend
I
with
didn't
us
see
as
that
well.
point.
Well, yeah, because I had to, Jay was at the bottom of the hill, and I said, hey, Jay, can you keep your flashlight down? Because we were thinking maybe somehow, you know, this could be a reflection of his flashlight. He goes, okay. And he kept it down, and we saw it again. And I was like, there it is. It's just, you know, and I kept trying to think, I mean, could it have been something residual, like they were doing midnight bed checks?
Yeah.
You know, could it have been something like that? Because it was right at midnight.
Yeah. And I sent Miguel everything too. So
Yeah, he said you did. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I'm excited about his video. His pictures were beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, that's going to be good. And then Jay, what do you have coming up?
I'm going to start live shows, kind of like what we're doing now. We're going to start on July 7th with Vicky Joy Anderson, who is a sleep demon survivor. And then the following week, we're going to have Karen Wilkinson, who is an alien abductee.
Nice.
Take it from there.
Awesome.
Amazing.
That'll be great.
Also want to throw a shout out to Jeremiah, who's been my left-hand man here on research and finding me people. I did an 1.5-hour interview with Cindy Sauer today. If you don't know who she is, incredibly authentic person that suffered exorcisms and has gone through 2 of them. And we have some fun stuff with that. We're going to follow up with that one. So Jeremiah did a great job of kind of tracking her down, finding it. She lives in Georgia. We had a great interview today, and she's really open to it. I'm working with Blumhouse on something, and they've been looking for somebody that had gone through some possessions. And so it's taken me almost a year to find somebody, because most of these people don't talk. The people that I did talk to were like meth heads from like Franklin County or something. And it was like, oh yeah, I think this is drugs, man. Well, where are you at now? I'm in the rehab center. I'm pretty sure it's drugs. But you know, you never know. So, you know, we get some kooks, some people that just want to be on TV. Like some person called Dan one time, like, I just want to be on TV. I'm like, well, do you have any experience with a ghost? No, but I can make it up. I'm like, all right, we're good. Like,
thank you.
So yeah, I think that's pretty awesome. That
Let's get this straight. Dan gets all the weird phone calls.
all of them. Just so
I am starting to tape them, so we can all put this together in one montage of video calls calls I get.
People with the paranormal.
Oh my god, I get them all the time.
And Paul,
really good job. So
Paul Headtrip says, mad respect for you coming forward, brother.
Yes, 100%.
Yep.
Thank you. So you said we should play cathedral music or just loud noise?
Crowd music, like
crowd noise, but with a cathedral sound, the echo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Echo. Crowd mode. Okay.
So how, like,
large room venues.
Yeah. I get it. And then to read, T-Bone brought up that one about which HS person would wear the God helmet. This guy has worn it 4 to 5 times.
Yeah, look at him. One eye doesn't work anymore.
That's right. I worn it. Maddie has.
It's from the God helmet. Yeah.
Maddie has.
Maddie worn the God helmet.
I want to take it out to the Emmaus.
Dan has drop foot now and stiff leg. It's been great. It's doing great for him.
I would love to have it at the prison. I can imagine.
I wore one once. It wasn't the one you all had on, but I have done it once. Yep.
Yeah.
I think you got, how many people you got watching?
In chat, we have 65 actually watching. We are up to, well, we're down to 312.
Now, if all those 65 people would come over to Haunted Souls, like our our
No,
Facebook
all of
page.
those 312 people. There's
All those 312 people. And
Watching.
subscribe to our
They're just not
YouTube
in chat.
channel.
We'd be monetized.
We would be monetized.
all we
Please
need.
help us out.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you get to see me like every other Tuesday.
And
Yeah.
we could do it a paranormal pyramid.
You don't even have to
too.
watch us. Just go subscribe to us so we can get monetized.
No, pyramid.
Yeah,
was,
you could
pyramid was awesome.
Yeah, Paranormal Pyramid is going to be a pretty cool game.
That was
we could
Laura
play.
Colley tried. She tried.
And didn't
She
do
won
it.
a T-shirt. She was a winner.
Well, anyway, we're going to have to get off of here. We've got Monica Rawlins will be on just shortly
20
and
minutes,
with our
guys.
paranormal world.
Yep.
Paul, I hope you can come out, sir. It'd be great to
Yes,
meet you in
it was great
person.
meeting
I'd
you.
love to meet y'all.
Yeah, we'll have fun.
Yeah,
Hang out in the golf cart.
Really, I really looking forward to it. It's one way. It's going to be like a home. So
Yep. Y'all stay on. Don't hang up. Appreciate everybody showing up tonight. Tomorrow night, Brandy and I are talking with, here we drum roll, Brandy.
I don't know.
You do too. I told you.
Hold on, I got one Kenny Rogers. No, sorry.
You're the best.
Yeah, I got that one. You best around. There you go.
There you go. There you go.
Best
Yeah,
around, baby.
Tomorrow night, we have Brent Thomas.
Oh, yes, Brent Thomas. Yeah,
Hey,
you told me
Hey,
that.
hey Brandy, you got
Portal.
Britt Thomas tomorrow night.
Yeah, well, you guys, I do them 6 days, do podcasts 6 days a week, and you kind of do lose track on who's on what day and what you're doing.
Yeah.
So
you guys
I
are-
kind of have to wait for Chris to remind me. She is our admin person.
Yeah. You guys
She
got a
just-
lot going on.
Yeah, she just tells me where I need to go, where I need to sign, and that's what I do.
She's
Yep.
HR.
So
I'm
you
HR.
you guys are setting up a table at MSP, right? Blondes and Blues?
Yes.
We also have tarot card readers that night too. So if people do want to get read that night, we're going to do an announcement on our Facebook. We have 2 weeks. I'm probably going to put something together where we can give them a list of people that want to get read. That way we know who wants to have their tarot card reader. We have some of the best tarot card readers coming up. It's really fun. They don't do anything about death or like how you're going to die. They don't do that. They do mostly like spiritual stuff and like see what you got going on, past, present, futures type stuff. Really good. Miranda and Taylor or Skylar Taylor.
And actually, I can attest. Last they were at Emmaus for pro night, and people were walking away from them pretty amazed. So
Yes.
Thanks, Heather.
yeah, so we
Appreciate
appreciate
you.
everybody tuning in. Show Monica some love here in about 15 minutes. Our paranormal world, she'd appreciate it, I'm sure. These guys will be at the conference. Jay, Dan, Maddie, Frankie. Everybody will be there. They're bringing the haunted car. So
They hope.
What do you mean we hope, son?
right now, I've been advertising the
We'll have
haunted
two.
car.
We will have a 71 Nova and we will have a 69 Chevelle. And the 69 Chevelle, people, it was just LSX swapped. So it's a brand new car. This has got a real big Chevy 6.0 engine. in
Okay,
it, 500
here's the
horsepower.
point. They're haunted and
Yes.
they never give Frankie good stuff.
They do.
Okay, we'll see.
The only thing with the Chevelle,
I've known you for a year and it's all been
Yeah.
bad.
well because I
All right.
switched
All right,
it.
gentlemen.
I switched it from stick shift. That's why.
All right, gentlemen.
I don't want to be at
All right.
40
We'll
RPM.
see everybody tomorrow night. You all on the panel here, hang tight, and we'll
Yes.
see you guys in 1 minute.
I have a 66
All right.
Mustang. If you want.
This is the future. Evolution.
The Crossing Realms Conference launches September 19th and 20th and will dock in Richmond, Missouri. This is already being called the event of the year, folks. With an unprecedented list of speakers and special guests, 2 days of cryptids, UFOs, and paranormal presentations, along with a celebrity-filled ghost hunt, meet and greet, gallery reading, vendors, and a film screening. This promises to be both educational and fun. Go to Eventbrite.com to secure your tickets and vendor slots before they are all abducted. They're going fast.